There is a move underway for the Oakland Police Department to cut ties with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, or ICE. And that includes any joint operations to combat drug, and human trafficking. Councilmember Rebecca Kaplan is sponsoring that legislation. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much.
So this, Rebecca, would essentially end all relationships, all collaboration between OPD and ICE.
We would be rescinding an agreement that was entered into by the previous police chief that created a collaboration between Oakland and ICE, because we're very concerned about the new moves by ICE to go after people who are not criminals, and even they've gone after people who are victims of crime.
So let's start in the beginning, though. Why was this agreement reached?
The agreement was reached, obviously, under the previous president when people had much less concern about misconduct by ICE. And in the current environment where they've been told, go after anyone based on their immigration status, even if they haven't committed a crime, that is part of why now people are saying, we can't be in this collaboration anymore.
So why would OPD, what sort of operations would OPD work with ICE on? Because Oakland is a sanctuary city. OPD doesn't enforce any sort of immigration laws and doesn't ask anyone's status, correct?
Exactly. So the type of operations that would be appropriate is if somebody who happened to be an undocumented immigrant then committed some other crime unrelated to their immigration. So if somebody commits a robbery, commits an assault, then it is valid to go after them regardless. But the reason we need to end this relationship now is because now ICE is going after even people who haven't committed crimes.
And you said that there is a concern about information sharing.
Yes, exactly. In this collaboration, there's a lot of fear that even people who've committed no crime, but whose immigration status might be in OPD data, that data would get shared with ICE, and then those people would be targeted. So
this goes beyond then just the physical officer joining alongside an ICE agent to go out and conduct some sort of operation. And we were talking, and this isn't about immigration enforcement. They sometimes work together on drug trafficking, human trafficking. So what do you say to critics who say that OPD and ICE need to work together on those big operations?
Well, we asked the department for records of examples of successful collaborations like that, and they didn't have any.
Okay.
And so we haven't seen it bearing fruit in terms of successfully going after serious crime. Now, of course, anyone, no matter their immigration status, can still be arrested and prosecuted if they then commit crimes. We just don't want people in our community afraid to report crimes and afraid to come forward out of fear of being targeted for their immigration status.
Do other departments in the Bay Area have such agreements? And if they do, have any of them rescinded those agreements?
It's our understanding that others who may have had such agreements are looking at rescinding them, particularly those who've adopted sanctuary city policies, and those policies often then prohibit this type of collaboration.
So if OPD says they can't point to any such operations that they've had, what is the department's stance on this? Would they like to see this agreement stay in place?
Well, I'm not sure what they will say about it, but what we do know in our community is that we're very concerned about racial profiling. We're very concerned that the community feels safe to come forward, and that if people worry about ICE coming after them, then they might not report even if they're assaulted. And so we really want to build a community that respects all people, and that's why it's important to not be working with this agency that under the current administration has been used to target people.
And so, Rebecca, what happens next with this legislation?
So it will be heard tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the Oakland Public Safety Committee.
And what happens after that?
And if it passes the Public Safety Committee, then the following week it'll come to the full council for a vote.
And you feel like you have the support of the full council?
I feel like there is strong support, but I don't like to prejudge how my colleagues will vote, so I'm certainly advocating and looking forward to having their support.
Okay, that's something that here at KTVU will continue to follow. Rebecca, always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much. I'm going to send it on over now to Aligana.
Thanks a lot, Heather. Well, San Francisco investigators are looking for the gunman who shot and